Asker fans, Sam McEwen along with Evan Bland. And we just talked to a whole bunch of quarterbacks and offensive coordinator Mark Whipple and head coach Scott Frost here on a Wednesday, right before their scrimmage on Friday, and then they're going to go on spring break. We got about an hour of content there from all the quarterbacks. Evan, you were with Casey Thompson and Scott Frost. What were the biggest takeaways from a very impressive quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, Casey Thompson spoke like a man who has a lot of confidence in what his abilities are. Scott Frost said that Casey Thompson was faster maybe than what he thought he would be going in. He said that he has developed as a leader maybe more quickly than he thought. And Casey Thompson said, hey, look, most of these workouts we've had so far have probably been good enough to go out there on a Saturday and do what they want to do. So I think what we have heard about Casey Thompson has manifested through 5 practices for what Nebraska's seen. This is a guy they feel like is a leader, somebody who is picking up not just the stuff that Nebraska has run previously, but also the new stuff probably quicker than anybody else. And I don't think he did anything to change the narrative that he's your clubhouse leader at that position for Nebraska.
Totally agree there. This is Thompson's 4th offense overall. He's played with a bunch of different offenses, but one of the things that he said that I thought was pretty interesting is that he did research not only after he went into the transfer portal, but before. And one of the things that he liked about Nebraska's offense is he had studied Scott Frost's offense at UCF. You know a little bit about Casey Thompson for a story you're working on. This is a guy that's very driven and has done a lot of things in his life and has done a lot of research and is really intentional about a lot of the things that he does. So he liked the fact that Mark Whipple's offense was a pro-style offense. You can tell there's a difference in this offense from what they were running previously because all the quarterbacks talk about it. They're going under center. They're talking about footwork, 5-step drops, 3-step drops. There's Chuba Purdy, who talked today. He's a little limited because of a foot injury, said Coach Whipple likes to air it out. So this is a little bit different kind of offense, I think. It's probably closer to what Mike Riley or Bill Callahan was doing, a little bit more of a pro-style West Coast offense, and you can tell that the quarterbacks like it. That was notable, and I think Thompson felt pretty comfortable. Like he said, he was kind of learning as he went along, but I think one of the things that Frost said is he's been really impressed with Thompson's mobility, his athleticism.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a hint that they're going to run him a little bit more than certainly he did at Texas. And, again, kind of talking to some people around Casey Thompson, like he was a running back until he was a freshman in high school. Like right. He likes to run. He felt like, he could have run more at Texas. They opted not to do that as is, the case around college football in general. But, yeah, I think that was an early sign that even while Mark Whipple is going to put his imprint on this offense, they're not going to go away entirely from that quarterback run that Scott Frost has used.
Logan Smothers talked too. Logan says he is here. He said, I came from Alabama to play at Nebraska, and I'm not going anywhere. We'll see over time if that remains true. It's been he and Thompson, I think, largely are the 2 quarterbacks that have been getting the lion's shares of the main snaps because Purdy has been limited. Smothers said, hey, we're probably going to throw the ball more. He likes Whipple's offense. He likes some of the wrinkles. Scott Frost was very praiseworthy again of the offensive line. He said the phrase improved offensive line play. And he said that knowing that Cam Jurgens left and Turner Corcoran and Teddy Prohaska are not in camp. So that's how much of a stylistic change there has been in the offensive line play. Now, I'll be honest with you. Scott Frost was the head coach for the first 4 years he was here too. So I'm not exactly sure how he wasn't able to govern that situation with Greg Austin because I would think that Scott being the boss could have gotten what he wanted out of that. But nevertheless, we're in year 5, and apparently it's exactly what he wants now.
Right. I mean, he used that analogy of when he was here, those linemen were running 40-yard dashes down the field. So there's more of that. I think it was another clue that this is a line that's going to use that technique where it just pushes off opponents and moves people as opposed to blocking zones and blocking spaces like they did.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation. We'll have lots of coverage from it, not just from tomorrow, but probably for the week and a half to come since they go on spring break. Mark Whipple is an interesting, kind of brilliant guy. But he knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to say things about where they're going as an offense, improving certain aspects of receiver routes. It's pretty clear to me that this is the Mike Riley, Bill Callahan system. Now, I don't have a personal problem with that. I kind of like that stuff. But I'm curious to see how Nebraska fans adjust to that and whether they're good with it or whether they want more of that zone read option offense that they've been running for the last 4 years. We're going to find out Right now, it seems like, yeah, we kept all the terminology. We're going to do all the same things we've been doing. But at the end of the day, if you're throwing the ball 35 times a game, you're throwing it 35 times a game. Okay, for Evan Bland, I'm Sam McEwen with the Omaha World-Herald.